You know those girls that seem like they're on it all the time, like I just remember her being there. So we were like, wait, hang on, this was supposed to be a one-on-one. What? Like, what? Who? I even dragged myself proper doing reconstruction here. But I just remember thinking, who the flip is that? And that's where I got upset. So I was like to her, can you let go of me, please? She wouldn't let go. She was still going, but why didn't? So she's holding on to me. But after that, mate, I don't know what happened, but I just ended up on the floor, okay? Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Now today I have a story time video for you guys. I can't believe I'm about to tell the story time because it happened a long time ago. I don't know, I don't know why I'm telling this story. I just think it's funny now, and it's funny that I can look back and laugh at it. At the time, obviously, I wasn't exactly laughing. Yeah. This is gonna be funny. So yeah, all I can say is, as always, listen, you better grab your tea, your coffee, your drink, your snacks, whatever. Sit back, relax, and I hope that you enjoy this story time video. So I'm gonna try and tell this story the best I can. I might remember things out of place, so apologies if this story is a bit scattered or a bit all over the place. So for those that know me, know that I went to an all-girls school based in East London. I'm not gonna mention the names of the schools just because I don't want to kind of bring like a bad image of the schools, but those that know me know what school I went to. I went to a girls' school, and there was another girls' school in the area. Now these two girls' schools were kind of like rival girls' schools. Don't ask me why, I don't know why, but anywho, so obviously I went to this school. Now from year 7 till year 9, i.e. before I lost weight, I was a nobody. Like nobody spoke to me, nobody, like I had friends, of course I always had friends, but I wasn't like, you know, nobody really knew who I was, especially in ends, yeah? So ends as in, like, I'm from East London, I'm not gonna say specifically where, but from East, no one really knew who I was. I was that person that literally went to school, came home, went to school, came home. I was very self-conscious about my weight and whatever. Anywho, come year 9 now, I lose weight. Then slowly, I started basically doing the things and hanging around more kind of like with the popular girls. Now, one of my really good friends, who's still my really good friend now, she knows who she is. That's my babes, my dog, my ride or die. She used to hang around with these group of girls, and they were kind of like the it girls. Yeah, if you want to consider them that, the it girls. A lot of them have like calmed down now and like do their own thing, and then they're super cool, so nothing against them. But in school, we can't even lie, they thought that they were, you know, the bomb diggly. Because of how they portray themselves, people just kind of go with the status quo. So it's like they were kind of like the it girls and the bad girls, so they were known for getting like excluded, doing dumb stuff, being like the pretty girls but the loud girls, the rowdy girls. Knew a lot of people, like a lot of both girls and guys like around the area, the popular people basically. And I was always the floater. Like I was basically friends with everyone because I was just able to get on with people. That's how I've always been. And right now, guys, I can tell you that that's been my best feature ever, because now you put me in a room with anybody and I can sit there and have a conversation with you and it will just flow, because I've never really been in like a clique or in like a group. So I've always been like that person that dibbles and dabbles with like everyone. So I've now lost weight. I'm starting to hang around with these girls a bit more. And my really good friend now, long story short, she basically had, I think, an argument with another girl from the rival girl school. So them two had something going on, but of course, when that's your friend, you obviously have to back them. So them two had whatever going on, and then it was announced that there was gonna be a fight. There was gonna be a fight in the park between the two girls. It was apparently gonna be one-on-one, but of course when it's one-on-one, it's never really one-on-one. Like everyone brings their people. So obviously we all went, as in like the girls from our school in our year went with her, and the other girl brought her friends from the other school, and we all ended up in this park. I don't even know where the fight started. I don't even know what it was about. I can't even remember what it was about. I feel like it was something mean. It was probably over a guy. Like, we were just young and dumb and stupid. So we get to the park now. So many people, like, as in, the thing is about school is that news travels like wildfire. So when people know that there's gonna be a fight, mate, everybody rolls out just to kind of see what's gonna happen. A lot of the times just that they can see like what's gonna happen. But yeah, so there was a bag of girls on our side, bag of girls on their side. We all come together now at this park after school, and it's the two of them. And all I remember was them two kind of going back and forth, back and forth, or whatever. And then there was the other girl from the other school had this one friend that was really rowdy. Like, she was, I remember her, I can't even remember her name. I don't even remember who she is, but she was this dark-skinned girl. I just remember her being a dark-skinned girl that was really rowdy and really, like, you know those girls that seem like they're on it all the time, like, I just remember her being there. That's all I remember. But yeah, so she was, I remember her saying something like, oh, you guys are talking too much, man, just swing. So I don't know if it was just her or if it was other people as well, but I just remember somebody said something like that. Bearing in mind, remember that they had clarified and said that they had said something like, oh, it was going to be one-on-one. Nobody else gets involved. It's between these two girls. Let them fight. So obviously we went there just in case, right? On standby. Jesus, I don't even know what I was doing. I don't know what I was doing, but Jesus, we thank God for grace and for mercy. So they went back and forth for a little bit, and then eventually, I don't know who swung first or whatever, but they started fighting, and so obviously everyone's going so they start going at each other. So imagine the two girls attack each other.
I knew how this would be settled in the animal world.
And then all I remember was the other girls from the other girls' school, as in her friends, started jumping in. So we were like, wait, hang on, this was supposed to be a one-on-one. What? Like, what? Now, I don't really remember what happened, whether or not I jumped in or I didn't. Like, I genuinely can't remember. Maybe I didn't, because I'm not gonna lie to you, I was that scaredy cat person. Though at that point, after a few months of like having lost weight and was kind of like hanging around more with these girls and getting involved with them a bit more, I was, not that I was ever like coldies or best friends with them, but I was just in that circle a little bit more. I was like, the pretense and the persona and the confidence that comes with those kind of people, it was starting to grow on me. So even though I was a chicken and I was scared of everything, I basically was acting as though I wasn't scared. So I don't know if I jumped in, don't know if I didn't or whatever. I think I remember like pulling someone, because bearing in mind like people had backpacks on and you know you're in school uniform, so we're tugging each other and whatever. I don't know what happened where, but people just started fighting and people going crazy.
It was full tilt jungle madness. And it wasn't going away.
Then all of a sudden they stopped fighting. I don't know how it happened. I don't know if people broke them up, whatever, but they stopped fighting. Bearing in mind that more people had come at this point. So now it wasn't just the girls from my school, it wasn't just the girls from the other school, but it was boys as well. Boys from the two boys schools that were like are very well known in the area. There were boys that had come as well. So just imagine how many people were in the park at this point. Also, my cousin Hannah was there as well. She went to a different school that wasn't in the same area, but obviously her being my cousin and her having friends at my school as well, like we had friends, like I knew some of her friends from her school, and she knew like people from my school as well. So Hannah knew that there was going to be a fight, so she came as well, and people from her school. Now, long story short, the fight between the two girls that were supposed to be fighting breaks up. Now I'm turned that way, talking to my friend and making sure like everyone's cool or whatever. Then I feel someone dragged me. So imagine literally I'm standing and someone just goes. I remember just thinking,
are you kind of mad?
Like, I remember in my head thinking, I even dragged myself proper doing reconstruction here, but I just remember thinking, who the flip is that? Then the girl that was there barking and was holding on to me like this, and she was like,
why didn't you back it? Why didn't you back it, fam? Why didn't you back it? You said you came here to back it. Why did you?
I just remember thinking to myself, wait, huh? Like, what is going on? But basically what she was saying to me was, you said that you came here to defend your friend, to back your friend, right? But you haven't. Why did you not defend your friend? And I think I remember saying to her, like, what are you talking about? Like, I remember just thinking to myself, what is this girl on about? And I think I remember saying to her, but we said, or it was said, that this was gonna be a one-on-one and it was gonna be fair. Why did your friends jump in? I think I said something like that. Anyway, this girl wasn't listening to me. She was on one. I don't know what she was on, but clearly she wanted to fight somebody. She was holding on to me, was like, oh, da, da, da. Bearing in mind at this point here, everyone is now staring at me and the girl and just looking at us like, oh my days, is there basically gonna be like a round two? Is there gonna be another fight? Now, on this day, at that point in time, I was always wearing loads of chains. So I was wearing loads of necklaces. I had a necklace that my mum had bought me with my initial N on it. I had another necklace that I think I'd bought myself. I had another necklace from like some guy at the time. So silly, but a necklace from some guy at the time. And I used to wear like 4 or 5 chains all at the same time, just because I just liked it and I thought I was cool wearing it. And I remember she was grabbing onto my chains, and that's where I got upset. I remember saying to her, these chains are very important to me. They all mean something to me. They're all from someone special in my life. Can you let go of me? I don't know how, I don't know where the bravery was coming from in my tone to even be speaking like that, but I was actually getting really, really angry. And she was still popping off, still going or whatever. I was just like, can you let go? Can you let go? Can you let go? Now, I don't know what happened after this point, but from what I was told after, apparently I took the first punch. Now, I don't know how, but I guess my anger got on top of me because all I remember was seeing black. I just remember seeing black. And I remember getting very angry and just seeing black. Or is it red? Do people say red or do people say black? I don't know. Whatever it is when you get very, very angry. All I remember was just blacking out and getting very angry. And apparently I threw the first punch. But after that, mate, I don't know what happened, but I just ended up on the floor, okay? Obviously, I must have thrown the first punch now. And then I feel like obviously someone trying to punch me back and then people punching me, and then I just get dragged onto the floor, guys. Oh my goodness. By this point, I was dragged onto the floor and then I was being kicked and punched and kicked and punched. The weird thing is though that I learned from that day was that you don't actually feel the pain until after. So I was being kicked and punched in the face, in the side, on my leg, like literally being kicked and punched everywhere. And I remember kind of looking up and seeing that it was boys that were doing it as well. That's the thing that makes me really angry and makes me mad, because the girls, okay, but the fact that the boys, like, first of all, it was none of your business. Secondly, why were you there? Thirdly, like, why are you being a little weakling, a little PUSSY and hitting a girl? Like, what's wrong with you? I just remember people kicking me, punching me, whatever. I was on the floor and I was getting really angry, and then I don't know why, but in my head I was imagining myself going, but that didn't happen. Like, of course not, because I wasn't strong enough to do that. But in my head, that's what I wanted to do. I was getting so angry at this point. Like, I was like, I can't believe I'm on the floor, like, on my days. But they were just like really, really kicking me and going in. And then someone took off my shoes and they like dashed it somewhere else. And yeah, I was just getting basically beaten up. My ass was just getting whooped. That's never happened to me. Oh, and at the time as well, that's what you call being rushed. I was rushed. So that's not even like you've gotten beaten up by a person. It's just like a whole bunch of people onto you and beating you up. I was rushed basically. Now I look back at it, oh my days, it was so dumb. But basically I was rushed, and then I just remember someone pushing through. Oh, and I remember, right, I had this one friend that was really small. I think she's still small now. I haven't seen her in years, but I think she's still small now. She will know who she is. Who I just remember being like, let me in, let me in, let me in. Because she tried to come and try and help me and was like, no, allow it, let me in, that's my girl, that's my friend. And all I remember seeing, like through the legs obviously that were kicking and hurting me at the time, was her like legs trying to get through. And I remember seeing, because obviously like I said, my cousin Hannah was there. I just remember hearing her being like, nah man, because I don't know how I saw this, but I just remember a guy taking her and lifting her up. Now, I don't know if I made that up, but that's what I remember. I remember a guy basically lifting her up and her being like, nah man, nah, that's my cousin. Nah man, don't touch my cousin. Like, Hannah was going ballistic. Then, I don't know how it happened, but I just heard someone being like, oh, allow it man, like what you guys doing, allow it, allow it. And obviously, I could hear someone coming through the crowd to come and help me. And it was this guy that was a friend of mine. He wasn't really a friend, but I knew him because he was friends with my really good friend. And so it was kind of like he knew me, and I don't know what happened, but he came and basically like pushed everyone away and was like, oh, allow it man, how are you guys doing this, blah blah blah, and then came, pushed everyone away, and then was like, come, get up, and then he helped me up. And then obviously I'm there like, I'm crying, but I'm not even crying because I'm in pain. I'm crying because I'm angry. Angry at the fact that I got violated. Angry at the fact that I was on the floor. Angry at the fact that basically the whole of the area that I live in will basically know that this happened to me. And that's the most painful thing. It was my pride that was hurt. I remember I was hurt that day. Because I just remember thinking, oh my days, everyone is going to know about this. I'm going to basically be like the dunce of the town. And this is just embarrassing. I remember being angry, thinking, why did this girl have to start on me? So I was like, imagine I'm crying as well. I don't even know. I was a mess. No shoes on, no nothing. I don't even know where my bag was. I think someone had like taken my bag and dashed it into like the bush or something. Because I remember I picked up my bag, and then the guy was like walking with me like away from everybody else. And I remember him asking me like, where are your shoes? And I was like, I don't know, they took it off my feet, whatever. And he was like, okay, don't worry, like we'll get you home. Like, he was being so lovely, and bearing in mind he wasn't even my friend like that. So if you're watching this, you know exactly who you are. May God bless you, and may you have nothing but abundance and blessings over your life, because literally, like, you hear about these things going sideways and about people, I know this sounds like a total exaggeration, but people dying from things like that. You know, if someone was to just bring out something on the occasion and decided that they just wanted to act crazy and act reckless, like, God knows what could have happened to me on that day. But he actually like stood up for me and brought me out of that nonsense. Now obviously as I was walking, Hannah came running and was like, oh my days, are you alright? I tried to help you, but I just remember just being angry and not really knowing, like, and just thinking, how am I gonna get home with no shoes? That was my main concern. How am I gonna get home with no shoes? And then obviously Hannah was there, and she was in PE kit, so she changed, and so she had shoes, and she gave me her shoes to come home with. That all happened. When I had gotten back home now, my mum, like, obviously I'd gotten home and I was trying to pretend that everything was fine, because I didn't want to tell my mum that I was in a fight, because my mum would probably beat me even more and then just ask questions and then be worried or whatever. So obviously when I'm getting home now, I'm just pretending that, like, I don't know what I even said to her, but I remember coming through the door and my mum being like, oh, are you okay? And I was just like, yeah, I'm fine, I'm just really tired, blah, blah, blah. You know, the whole I'm tired thing, pretending. And then she was like, where are your shoes? And I was like, oh, bearing in mind my shoes as well, they were those £2 Primark Plimsoles anyway, so it wasn't even a big deal. So shout out to the people that decided to take my shoes off my foot and take them. Yeah, like, she was like, where are your shoes? And I can't even remember the excuse that I gave to her, but I gave her some sort of excuse, and she was just looking at me sideways. You know when your mom just knows that something is up, but you're trying to pretend that nothing is up? That was me. But I just kind of was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go, whatever. Now obviously, I was nervous because a lot of the times when there's fights between people in the area, it doesn't always end there. And I think I had a feeling, or I heard, I don't know, I think I kind of heard in the grapevine or something that the girl still wanted to fight me because I violated her, because I threw the first punch or something like that. I don't even remember, but basically obviously I had school the next day. I just remember thinking, oh my God, this is gonna be so embarrassing. And I was scared, like I can't lie to you, I was shook because I felt like if I'm by myself, God knows what she can do to me. So get to school now, and then I think that's when I heard that apparently the girl like said that when she catches me, like something's gonna happen or whatever. And someone had also given me the heads up, and there was a particular person that also informed me that I was the person that threw the first punch, and how yeah, the girl wanted to catch me or whatever. I can't even remember. Oh my gosh, no. The same informer, because they gave me information. The same person told me that apparently the girl had said that 1, I threw the first punch, 2, that she was shocked at how strong I was because she didn't expect me to be that strong, and 3, apparently the only reason she started on me was because she wasn't satisfied with the fight between the other 2 girls, the 2 girls that were originally supposed to fight, i.e. my friend and her friend. What a dumb reason as to starting a fight with somebody else. But literally it was because she was bored, and apparently because that the fight was dead, so she decided that she wanted to fight somebody and saw me as a target and decided to go for me. So that's what I was told, and I remember just thinking to myself, really? So you fought me just because you were bored, just because you wanted to? Anywho, after that, for the next couple of days, I was really just riding really low. Went to school, came home, went to school, came home. I didn't do anything in between. I didn't want anyone to beat my ass up again. I was not on it. Anyway, there was this one day where I went home and my mum said to me, go to this other particular area next to my house, and go and get not chicken chips, get McDonald's for you and your sisters. Now this particular area, I knew that this girl lived in this area, so I thought, imagine if I see this girl. But obviously my mum's sending me out, what can I really do? So I leave, but then I take my sister with me. I was like, oh, do you want to come with me? I don't know why, I just decided to. Maybe I was just scared to go anywhere by myself. I thought, or maybe if I have my sister there, you know, they'll kind of be like, oh no, we can't beat her up in front of her sister. I don't know what my logic was, but I brought my sister along with me. So we obviously get to the McDonald's in this particular area now. And as soon as we walk in the corner of my eye, I see a big group of obviously people my age and from different schools, and there were girls and boys, but I just tried not to pay attention. I was just like, you know what, coming in to get McDonald's and to go home. Then all of a sudden I just hear them whispering, and then I see someone get up, and I think someone was like, oh, is that her? I remember thinking, Jesus, I'm not on fighting anyone today. But at the same time, I remember I was always going everywhere with a screw face so that I could, you know, make people, warn people, like, don't even touch me, don't mess with me. Anyway, I still had a screw face. I heard them say everything, whatever, but I took the order, waiting for the food now. And I see a girl floating towards me. Then as she got closer, I realized it was the girl that fought me. And then she came, and then she stood next to the counter and was like, are you Nissy? I think she knew my name by this point. I think that's what she said to me. And I was like, yeah. And I was just looking at her like, what do you want? And then she was like, and then she kind of like was like, listen, like, I don't have no beef with you at the end of the day. And then she explained what the person had already told me. She was like, listen, at the end of the day, I don't have beef with you in it. Like, I just did it because like their fight was dead, as in the 2 girls, my friend and her friend, their fight was dead. Like, it was supposed to be a proper fight and it really wasn't. And I just felt like I just wanted to have a fight in it. So I don't remember exactly what she said, but she was just basically kind of like, this is dead. I don't have a problem with you. I don't have any issues. And she even, I remember even her being like, oh, is this your sister? And I was like, yeah. She's like, oh, hi. Like, she was being so nice, as though nothing had ever happened. I was so confused. I was just like, okay, cool. She's like, oh, okay, so we're cool, yeah? I was just like, yeah, okay. And then yeah, after that, like, nothing else really happened. After that, she went her way, I went my way, and that was that. And yeah, I remember still for another few kind of days, few weeks, I was still living in a little bit of fear, thinking, oh my days, who's gonna come and drag me somewhere and do something to me, especially me because my imagination is so wild. But yeah, that is basically the story of how my ass got whooped. And oh yeah, something that I missed out. I just remember getting home and my face was stinging, and I remember this side of my face was red and it felt like it was going do-do. It was just, I was a hot mess. So anyway guys, that's the end of my story time video. Please don't get into fights, don't get into anything, especially if it's over guys. It's not worth it. Face your books, focus, and dream big. But that's the end of my story time. If you like my story time videos and you would like more, because I'm actually realizing that I've got a few stories to tell. If you would like more, make sure you comment in the comment section below. Let me know if you want to hear more story times, and I will of course film more for you. Shout out to all of the girls. If you know who I'm talking about, whether it be from the school that I went to or the other girls' school, shout out to each and every one of you guys. I hope that you guys are doing well. Mate, school was a very, very interesting time. I hope that you guys are chasing dreams and doing all that you're trying to do. Yeah, shout out to everyone that knows the school that I went to, who knows like who was there that day as well and saw the fight and saw whatever, and we can all laugh about it now. So yeah man, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. Like, subscribe, and share as always. Click on the bell to make sure you know when I'm uploading a video. Make sure you follow me on all the socials and all of that, and of course, stay beautiful.